So good morning all of you. All of you are keeping well. Welcome to our maths class. And in last class you must have remember we discussed about the problems of simultaneous linear equation. And there are 32 questions in the exercise, and out of these 32, till the 24 questions we have discussed. It means 8 more questions are there, and indefinitely if a few same type of the questions are there, so out of these same type of question, few questions I will do, and remaining I will give you for you people. So you need not to worried about it. Whatever different questions are there, I'll do today, and then after today only I'll try to start a new chapter, and that new chapter is indices. Okay. So let's start our class. And after 24, question number 25 is there. It's related to something jewelry. Actually, whatever jewelry we are getting, gold jewelry in the market, that's the 24 carat, means the 100% pure. Okay. So if somewhere it is given 18 carat, so if we want to find the purity of gold in that 18 carat, we can write 18 upon 24 into x. Okay, then we can find the purity percentage, we can find easily. So one question is there, you just try to do it. And then after question number 26 and 27, both questions are depend on the work and time. You must have remember when you were in class earth, then class earth only we discussed something related to the work and time. So whenever we are talking about the work and time, suppose that one person can do a work in 10 days. So we used to find the work of that 1 day work of that person. Same thing we have to do here. That question number 26 and 27 are the same question, but for 26 we are having some hint. 27 I am going to do for you people. Okay, that question number 27 is there, and it's written 2 men and 5 women can do a piece of work in 4 days, while 1 man and 1 woman can finish it in 12 days. Then how long it take for a man to do the work or to complete the work? What can I write? Let 1 man complete a work in x days, and 1 woman can complete the work in y days. What should I write? Let that question number 27 I can write, let 1 man can complete the work in x days, and 1 woman can complete the work in y days. Can now if we had got 1 days number of days for the man and number of days for the woman, we can find 1 day 1 day's work of a man is equal to 1 upon x, and the same way 1 day's work of a woman is equal to 1 upon y. Now we are moving to the question. In question it is given that 2 men and 5 women can complete in 4 days. It means what? That's 2 men 1 day work is equal to 2 upon x. 5 men 1 day work is 5 upon y. Then that 2 men plus 5 women 1 day work is equal to 1 upon 4. What should I write? I can write here 2 men 1 day's work is equal to 2 upon x. 5 women 1 day's work is equal to 5 upon y. Now 2 men plus 5 women, 1 day's work is equal to 1 upon 4. Why 1 upon 4? Because they had completed the work in 5 days. So what should I write? 1 upon 4. It means we had got 2 upon x plus 5 upon y is equal to 1 upon 4. And it can be written as equation number 1. Now we can move for the second case. In second case it's written, while 1 man and 1 woman can finish the work in 12 days. So what can I write from second case? From second case, 1 upon x plus 1 upon y is equal to 1 upon 12. This is the equation number 12. And now you have to solve these two equations 1 and 2, and then easily you can find the value of x and y. Actually you have to find the value of x only, because it's asked ki, 1 man, how long would it take for 1 man to complete the work. So it will be easy for you, and that's only you have to find the value of x, nothing more. Now next 3 questions I can say, not only 3, one more is there, that question number 28, and then after I am moving to the remaining question. Question number 28 you can see. In question number 28 what is given? It's written, a train cover a certain distance has not given, okay, with a uniform speed. Speed also has not given. Please listen me carefully what I want to tell you. Distance has not given, speed has not given, but some condition has given. What is the condition? Condition is there, if the train had been 30 km per hour faster, it would have taken 2 hours less. Means whatever scheduled time is there, it will take 2 hours less than the scheduled time if the speed of train will be 30 km more. Side by side another condition has been given, if the train were slower by 15 km per hour. Means now what will happen, the speed of train is going to decrease, that is 15 km per hour, and then the scheduled time will be 2 hours more. So what should I do? Actually your question is there, find the length of journey. Actually when I had started this topic, I told you in this exercise we have to think about the last line, and we will find that two unknown quantity will be there, and out of these two we have to assume one as a x, another one as a y, as I have taken the previous question. But unfortunately in this question only one unknown things is there, and that is the distance of journey. What should I do? And all these two relation has been given, and these relations are there, depend on the speed of train and scheduled time. So what I am thinking, and that will be easy for you, if we will take the speed of train as a x and scheduled time is y hour. Okay, scheduled time is y hour. So as we had learned, distance is equal to speed into time. So distance can be written as x into y r naught. And what I am thinking, after that our questions will be easy, because distance will never change. That suppose that I am just going to write this question, let the speed of train is x km per hour and scheduled time is y hour. Simply I am writing here, and the distance will find, easily we can find. What I am going to write here, question number 28 you can see, let speed of train is x km per hour and scheduled time is equal to y hour. Now speed has been given, time has been given, we can find distance covered by train or not. Easily we can find. We are having one concept that distance is equal to speed into time. So what can I write? Therefore distance is equal to speed into time. So distance can be written as x into y. This is the, I think, distance covered by the train. And now one thing I want to write here, and I want to make it a little bit more clear. Suppose that it is A and it is B, and the distance between A and B we have taken as a xy kilometer. Now I am going to change the speed of train, then time will change. Distance will never change. Distance will remain constant, and that is xy only. So what has given in first case, it is given in first case given that if speed is equal to, now how much speed is there? It is 30 km per hour faster. It means now if speed is x plus 30 km per hour, then how much time it will take? 2 hours less. It's written 2 hours less. So what should be the time? It is y minus 2. It's hour. And now again I am going to find the distance. Again I will apply this same formula, that is speed into time. So what can I write? Distance is equal to speed into time. As I told you, distance will never change. Whatever distance will be there, it will be constant. I can write here x into y. Speed is now x plus 30 and it is now y minus 2. When I will simplify, it is xy minus 2x and plus 30y minus 60. What I am thinking, they can eliminate. And if I transpose simply, I can get 2x minus 30y is equal to minus 60. And what I am thinking, if I simplify, I can divide it by 2. So I can get x minus 15y is equal to minus 30. That is the equation number 1. Okay. And now for the second equation. As the second equation has been given, if the speed of train is now 15 km per hour slower, it means speed of train is going to decrease. What should I write? If in second case, if speed is equal to x minus 15 km per hour, then what will happen? It would have taken 2 hours more. Means what? Time will be y plus 2. And now again, what can I write? Since distance is equal to speed into time. What is the distance here? Again xy time x minus 15 and y plus 2. What can I write here? xy 2x 15y and minus 13. They can eliminate or not. And now when I transpose, I will get again 2x minus 15y is equal to 30. This is the equation number 2. Now tell me, can we solve 1 and 2 or not? What I am thinking, as I had simplified, I have taken 2 common. If I will not take a 2 common, so 2x I am having here and 2x I am having here. So directly we can do that 1 minus 2 and we will eliminate x, and then we can find the value of y. And after putting the value of y in 1 or 2, we can find the value of x. And when we are finding the value of x and y, I can write distance is equal to x into y, and easily we can find distance. That is another type of question. Now we are having 3 more questions, and they are the same type of the question. What type of question? In class 8th we were having some question like that, where it's written speed of the water or speed of the river and speed of the boat. Means a man is just going for the boating, and he is just going of some distance upstream and downstream. What is the means of upstream and downstream? Upstream means against to the water direction. It means if water is flowing in north direction, we are just going in south direction. And downstream means with water in the direction of water only. Means in the upstream means opposite to the direction of the water, and downstream means with the water. Okay, so here I am having three questions, and out of these three, two are directly related to the water, and I can say still water and some current and all these things are there. But one question is there, it's related to the aeroplane, and definitely aeroplane will not fly in water, it will be fly in air only. So here we will discuss about the speed of air also. So question number 31 is like that. But before that, I would like to solve one question from 29 and 30. And this again, I want to tell you these questions are easy for you. Let me discuss question number 29. What has given? Listen me. It's written a boat take 2 hours to go 40 kilometer downstream, and it return in 4 hours. Find the speed of boat in still water and speed of stream. What should I write? Let the speed of boat is x kilometer per hour and speed of stream is y kilometer per hour. What can I write? Let the speed of boat is x kilometer per hour and speed of stream is y kilometer per hour. What will happen? What should I write here? As I told you, let the speed of boat is x kilometer per hour and speed of stream is equal to y kilometer per hour. Now I'm going to write one important point: speed of boat in downstream and speed of boat in upstream. One thing I want to tell you here, actually we are not getting a chance to have a boating every day or usually, and if we are getting a chance, so definitely we will have a boating in still water like Ramgarh Tal. Okay. But I don't think generally we are getting a chance to have a boating in a such a stream where speed of water is very much, or speed of water can affect the speed of boat. Usually we are not getting. But one more one example is there with us. With that examples we can experience that the speed of the water or speed of air can affect the our speed or not. Suppose that we are just going somewhere by cycle. Okay, you must have experienced one thing: when we are just cycling in the direction of wind, that time we have to just put a little I think less effort, or we have to do the less work. But at the same time, if we are going against to the direction of wind, so to maintain the same speed, what speed was there previously, we have to do little bit more work. It means what? The speed of air is affected the speed of our cycling. Okay, speed of air is affected our speed of cycling. In the same way, I can say the speed of stream, or one more word is there, current, or I can say river, whatever is there. So speed of water, flowing of the water will be affected the speed of boat. Okay, if we will have a boating in the same direction of the water, then definitely we will have a little bit more speed. And if we are going against to the water, then our speed will be slow. So what should I write? Speed of boat, speed of boat in downstream. That is equal to x plus y kilometer per hour. X plus y kilometer per hour. And speed of boat in, if I write upstream, that can be written as x minus y kilometer per hour. This is the first case. Now, speed we had got in both cases, upstream and downstream. Now, two things are there. Distance is given 40 kilometer. One, it is going in downstream, and returning means what? Upstream. Downstream going and returning means what? Opposite to the direction of the water. So I can say upstream. Distance is 40, it is fixed, but time is changed. What I has given? Again I am reading the question. A boat takes 2 hours to go 40 kilometer downstream. 40 kilometer downstream, and it take 4 hours in returning. So what can I write in first case? What can I write here? Just tell me. Distance is equal to speed into time. Distance is 40 kilometer, speed is x plus y, and time is 2. So what can I write from here? X plus y is equal to 20 kilometer or not. In the other word, in second case, what is there? Again the same thing. Since distance is equal to speed into time. Now distance is fixed 40 kilometer, speed is x minus y, and time is 4 hours. When I will simplify it, I can get x minus y is equal to 10 or not. And now tell me, 1 and 2 we can solve directly or not. Simply we can add 1 and 2, and while adding 1 and 2, y and y can be cancelled, and if y and y will be cancelled, we can get 2x is equal to 30. So x is equal to 15 kilometer per hour, means speed of boat is 15 kilometer per hour, and when I substitute here, I'll get y is equal to 5 kilometer per hour. Speed of stream is 5 kilometer. Is it so difficult? No. Only thing is there to know what is the upstream and what is the downstream, and then easily we can do this question. Now another question is there, and what I am thinking, it is easy for you, but I want to explain, because if I will leave so many questions for the homework, then you can think sir is not solving so many questions, and maximum question he is giving for the homework. So at least I am just trying to explain this question. What is the question? Okay. Now you can see easily that question number 31. As I told you, one question is there related to aeroplane. What is that aeroplane? It's written an aeroplane flies 1680 kilometer with a head wind in 3.5 hour. On returning trip with the same wind blowing, the plane takes 3 hours. It means what? When that aeroplane was in the ahead, means opposite direction of the wind, then it take 3.5 hours, and when it is in the same direction of wind, then it take 3 hours only. So what should be the speed? It's asked you what is the speed of plane and speed of wind. I can take easily, let the speed of aeroplane is x kilometer per hour and speed of wind is y kilometer per hour. So speed of plane in the direction of wind is x plus y kilometer per hour or not. Okay, and ahead means opposite direction. Speed of plane in opposite direction of the wind will be x minus y or not. And now tell me, as here I have got speed we had got in both direction, time were given in both time, and distance is fixed. So again we can follow the same thing or not. Distance is equal to speed into time, and when we will follow it, we will get two equation, and we will solve these two equation to find the value of x and y. Now I am having one more question, and this question is also an easy question, but I have to just discuss this question, and I want to form the equation, I can say. Usually you must have listened one word. Suppose that we are going somewhere for a trip, and we want to hire a taxi. So sometime it happened, taxi asked that, okay, my fixed charge is 500 rupees, and then after 10 rupees or whatever cost is there, whatever fare is there in that locality, he can ask, okay, 10 rupees per kilometer I'll take. It means one fixed charge. He will, if you will hire that taxi for a day, and even it will not run even 1 kilometer, even then we have to pay 500 for that. Okay, but side by side, if we will have some travel, means we are having some running 10 kilometer, 20 kilometer, 50 kilometer, so after 500 rupees, that is the fixed charge, and then we have to give as per that's decided. If he said 10 kilometer per hour, we have to pay 10 kilometer per hour, that extra amount. Means if we are having 500 rupees as a fixed charge and 10 rupees per kilometer, and we are having a journey of 50 kilometer, so 500 rupees we will give for the kilometer, and 500 we will give for the fixed charge. It means total 1000 we have to pay. Are you getting me or not? In the same way, if suppose that we are going to live in a hostel owner can ask to you, okay, my fixed charge is that much, and then after that charges will depend on the number of diet whatever you are taking, number of diet you are taking, that's depend on that. Question is there like that. I'm just going to read the question, and then definitely you will get something. Question is there कि a part of monthly hostel charge is fixed, some part is fixed, and the remaining depend on the number of days one has taken the food. Means the other word I can say number of diets. So you don't have to be very much worried ki what is the fixed charge and what is the diets. Suppose that 500 or 1000 rupees is the fixed charge in a hostel. So if we are hiring a room, 1000 we have to give. But side by side, if we are living there, so definitely we have to take a morning and evening our dinner and breakfast, everything, and lunch, all these things we want. So for these lunch and dinner and breakfast, he will definitely take something. So it's written depend on the number of days one has taken the food in the mess. Now when Bhavna take a food 20 days, she has to pay 2600. Means she is paying 2600 for 20 days food and that fixed charge. Got it? Now another things. Another person is there whereas when Dibya take a food 26 days. Now Dibya is taking 26 days and she pay 3020 rupees as a hostel charge. Find the fixed charge and cost of food per day. Let the fixed charge is X and cost of food per day is rupees Y. What can I write? Let the fixed charge is rupees X and the cost for the food per day is rupees Y, and then after we can follow the conditions to form the equation, and then we will solve it. What has given? It's written, let question number 32, let the fixed charge is equal to rupees X and cost of food per day is equal to rupees Y. Now we are talking about the Bhavna. In first case, what can I write? In first case, I can write in first case, or I can write for Bhavna. She has to pay X rupees as a fixed charge, and now for one day we have to pay Y rupees. She have taken 20 days food, it means 20y rupees. 20y, and that total amount is 2600. That is the equation number 1. And in second case, what will happen? When we are talking about the where, again x rupees she have to give as a fixed charge. Now she has taken 26 days as a 26 days food. So 26 y, it is equal to 3020. That is the equation number 2. Now tell me, can you solve it or not? It's very simple. Now if I will subtract 1 from the 2, x and x will be eliminated, we will directly find the value of y. So we had completed our chapter, that chapter number 6, and it was problems on the simultaneous linear equation. Now I am going to start another topic, and since we are not having our manual class, means the school class, we are having online classes. So definitely many students are there who can have some problem, and they are not able to have to ask the question from the teachers. So don't worry, definitely when school will be open, so before examination we will give you some time for the revision for each and every chapter, and that time you may ask your question. Whatever questions are there, you may mark by the pencil, and that time we can discuss in the class. And even we are trying to just take the easy topic, which in which you will have a little means less and less problem in this series. Now I am going to start one new topic, that is indices. What is the indices and what is the exponent? Last year you must have learned, and you must have remembered that we have learned one topic, and that was exponent. Now I am going to start indices. Actually exponent and indices both are almost the same thing. Why it is name has been changed? Because one thing is there in last year when we are talking about the exponent. So we had discussed about a number. Suppose that we are talking about a to the power m. A to the power m. It is a to the power m. So that a is called the base and that m is called the power, or in other words I can say exponent. But one thing was there last year when we discussed that m was oftenly we are getting positive integer. We had got m as a integer. Maybe it's negative also, but in maximum question we had got as a positive integer. Maybe some question we must have got as a negative integer. It's not our concern. But now it's not necessary that power will be, or this exponent will be an integer. It's maybe a rational number. It's maybe a positive rational number. It's maybe a negative rational number. So you need not to worry about it. Whatever formula we had learned previously for the exponent, now I am going to just write all these formula here. Whatever we had learned previously when that exponents means power was an integer, now the same formula we will use when that power will be a rational number. When that power will be a rational number, it means that indices, it means that power will be a fractional rational, that it can be a fraction, it can be a, definitely you must have learned a rational real number and rational number and all these things. So actually one topic was there in the starting, that first lesson, that real number, where we have to discuss about the rational and irrational numbers. So we have not learned this topic. So at the place of rational number I am using one word, that fractional number. It will be a little bit easier for you. Actually in rational that integer and fraction both will come. Okay, so that time we had learned only about the integers, but now with integers some fraction also can come. So let's start firstly all these points what we have to keep in our mind during solving the question, and then after we will start the question. Okay, so few points are there what you have to keep in your mind. The first point is there, if I am having two numbers and we want to find the product of these two numbers, and these two numbers are in the form of exponent, a to the power n and a to the power m, and we have to find the product. If the base are same, listen me carefully what I want to say. If the base are same and the power are different, so simply I can write it is a to the power m plus n, and that is the first property. Second one is there, if I am having somewhere a to the power m upon a to the power n, it can be written as m minus n. I don't think it is new for you. It's not new for you. Last year we had used it, and different type of questions we have done. Maybe that level of questions will be increased. That will be little bit higher than the last year, but we are knowing to use all these things. Now, if I am having somewhere power to the power, it means like that. It can be written as a to the power m into n. If I am having somewhere suppose that a to the power m, it can be written as 1 upon a to the power minus n. Or if I am having somewhere a to the power minus 1 upon m, then it is 1 upon m. Or in other words, if I am having two number a and b and both power are same, it can be written as ab to the power m. Side by side, you must have remembered one more thing. If a to the power m upon b to the power m, it can be written as a upon b to the power m. Got it? These things are not new for you. Already we have discussed all these things. And one more point I want to tell you. If suppose that I am having two numbers and which are equal, a to the power m is equal to b to the power m, and their power are same but base are different. These two numbers are there whose power are same but base are different. It means what? A is equal to b. And another one also, if I am having a to the power m and a to the power n, means what? Base are same but power are different. In this case, I can write m is equal to n. So in other words, I can say कि whatever formula, whatever things we had learned previously, all these things we are going to use here again. Only that questions level will be little bit high. So you need not to very much worried about it कि how we will solve the question. You can solve all these questions easily, and I told you, we are just trying to select the easy topics which can be easily taught online, and hope you can solve the remaining question easily. There are 40 questions in this exercise has given, and each and every question has some I can say part also, but you need not to be very much worried about it. When today after this class only, you may find that on your school website that it is chapter number 7 and whole exercise will be uploaded there. So at least after getting the basic concept, you may solve some questions, and you will hope you will do maximum question. Don't worry. There are 40 questions, so today I will try to solve near about 20, because all these questions are easy. After question number 20, we are having some different type of questions, some proof and all these things. So these next 20 questions will take us some time, but what I am thinking in this starting one, we will not take us so much time to do it. I am just going to solve some question, you can see, and it will be easy for you. Only one thing, whenever you are just having such type of question, you have to just try to simplify it, the small to small number. Now I am writing one question, you can see it's exercise 7 and question number 1, second part I am writing in front of you. You can see it's 1 whole 61 upon 64 to the power minus 2 upon 3. What should I do? First of all, I will try to simplify this bracket. And one more thing, before solving this question, I want to, as I told you, if I am having this one, I can write 1 upon a to the power n. Yeah, I told you. Now listen me one more thing, if I am having a upon b to the power minus m, yeah, I can write it's b upon a to the power m. This negative sign can convert in a positive if numerator will take a denominator place and denominator will take a numerator place. Hope you are getting me. So let's start. What I have to do? First of all, we will just change it in a simple fraction. So 64 into 1 will be 64 plus 61 will be, I think, 125 upon 64, and whole to the power minus 2 upon 3. Now, as I told you, numerator will take a denominator place and denominator will take a numerator place. Then this negative sign will change. It can be written as 64 upon 125 to the power 2 upon 3. Now just tell me one thing. It can be written as 4 cube upon 5 cube whole to the power 2 upon 3. It can be or not. And as we are having a to the power m upon b to the power m, it can be written as a upon b to the power m. It can be written as 4 upon 5 whole to the power 3 and whole to the power 2 upon 3. One more properties we had on power to the power, they can multiply. It means what? 4 to the power 5, 4 upon 5 to the power 3, and that is 2 upon 3. They can eliminate. It means what? 4 upon 5 the square means 4 square upon 5 square, it is 16 upon 25. This is the answer. Is it so difficult? I'm asking to you people, is it so difficult? I don't think it is a very difficult question. Easy things, such type of questions already we have learned last year. I'm going to do some more question, and definitely it is easy for you. Question number 4th second part, you can see. But before that, I want to do question number 3rd second part also, because the students are having some problem when they are solving the question. They don't want to use their mind. Question number 3rd second part, you can see what I has written there. It's written 4 into 10 to the power 7. Another bracket, it's written 6 into 10 to the power minus 5 whole upon 8 into 10 to the power 8 into 10 to the power 10. 8 into 10 to the power 10. And we have to solve this question. We have to solve this question. You need not to be very much worried about it. And now listen me, what should I do? I can just simplify it. 4 into 6 into 10 to the power 7, 10 to the power 5. 10 to the power 7 minus 5 whole upon 8 into 10 to the power 10. I can write or not. And one more thing. See, it is 2 and it is 3. So I am having now 3 into 10 to the power 2 whole upon 10 to the power 10. Now, either we will take this one there or this will here. What will happen? 3 into 10 to the power 2 minus 10. This 3 into 10 to the power minus 8. I can write this one as a result. Again you can check, is there any mistake or not? Now see, nothing I have done. It's a bracket was there. It means simplification means multiplication. 4 into 8, 6 has come together. 10 to the power 7, 10 to the power minus 5 is together. And now I had simplified these two, as we had learned, that's m plus n. So 7 plus minus 5 will be 7 minus 5. I have done. Now 10 to the power 10 and simplified, we had got our result. Now in the same way we can do some more question, and these questions will be easy for you. And with the help of these questions we can slowly proceed for the different type of question. I'm going to do question number 7th second part. It is little bit different from the previous question, and remaining are easy question, I can say. Question number 7 second part, you can see. Hope it is visible. I'm writing a little bit down. It's written 5 into 25 to the power n plus 1 minus 25 into 5 to the power 2n whole upon again 5 into 5 to the power 2n plus 3, and then minus 25 to the power n plus 1. We need not to do anything, we have to simplify it. You can see, please. See what we have to do. I can write it's 5 into 5 to the power 2 whole to the power n plus 1 minus 25 can be written 5 to the power 2 into 5 to the power 2n whole upon 5 into, that is 1 and 2n plus, I can write it's 1 plus 2n plus 3 minus 5 to the power 2 whole to the power n plus 1. So it can be written as 5 to the power 1 plus 2n plus 2 minus 5 to the power 2n plus 2 whole upon 5 to the power 2n plus 4 minus 5 to the power 2n plus 2. Listen me carefully what I want to say. If I take 5 to the power 2n plus 2 common, I'll have a 5 minus 1 here. If I'll take 5 to the power 2n plus 2 common, I'll have 5 to the power 2 minus 1. They can eliminate. Here I am having 4, here I am having 25 minus 1, that is 4 upon 24, it is 1 upon 6, that will be the result. Since we are solving in little bit of hurry, so whenever you will do the question in a copy, you be little bit of patience, because sometimes what happen, if we are doing some easy things, so if this easy thing, sometimes it happen we are doing some calculation mistake. So to avoid this calculation mistake, we have to be very careful. You can take a screenshot of this one. Then I am going to do some more question for you people. Hope you have taken a screenshot. Now you can concentrate here, and I am going to do some more question, that after question number 7. So let's start with a few more questions. And as I told you that different type of questions are there, and I will try to solve each and every type of question. But it's a little bit good news for us that all these questions are easy, and we have done some questions last year also. But only one thing is there: last year the maximum power was an integer. Now we are having some fraction also, so we need not be very much worried about that fraction, all these things. Now I'm going to do question number 10th, because 8 and 10th are like that only, and 11 also. So not 10, 11th second part I am doing. Question number 11 second part, you can see this second part is there, 11 one. It's written 81 to the power 3 upon 4 minus 1 upon 32 whole to the power minus 2 upon 5 plus 8 to the power 1 upon 3 1 upon 2 to the power minus 1 into 2 to the power 0. One thing I want to tell you, if anywhere we are getting power as a 0, a to the power 0, b to the power 0, 3 to the power 0, that value will be 1. You need not to worry about it. Now tell me one thing, it can be written as 3 to the power 4 whole to the power 3 4 or not. And here before writing anything, first I want to change this sign. It can be 32 to the power 2 upon 5 or not. It can be written as 2 to the power 3 whole to the power 1 upon 3 or not. And this one can be written as 2 to the power 1 into 2 to the power 0 is 1. Easy things. Now 4 and 4 can be cancelled. 3 to the power 3 we are having. Here I am having 2 to the power 5. They can cancel. Here also it can be cancelled. 2 into 1. And then after we are having 3 to the power 3 is 27. 2 to the power 2 is 4, and that again 4. What will happen? 4 and 4 can be cancelled. You can see 4 and 4 can be cancelled. The result is what? 27. Again you can check once again all these things whatever I have written. Our question was simply that 81 to the power 3 upon 4, 1 upon 32 to the power minus 2 upon 5, 8 to the power 1 upon 3, 1 upon 2 to the power minus 1. Same thing what I have written. Now 81 can be written as 3 to the power 4. I don't think there is any confusion. 4 and 4 can be cancelled. 3 to the power 3 is 27. That's I have written. Now 1 upon 32 is there and negative sign. It can be written as 32 to the power 2 upon 5. 32 to the power 2 upon 5. And it is 2 to the power 3. I have written 1 upon 2 to the power minus 1 can be written as a 2. Now 5 and 5 cancel. 2 to the power 2 is 4. It's cancelled. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 cancel. We are having 27 easily. Is it so difficult? I don't think it is very difficult for you people. As you are, I am knowing that you people are very good students and you are very clever also, and you are knowing to solve the question. So let's start with some more question. Question number 12, second part. You can see we are having a little bit different type of question. 12th second part. In front of you I am writing. It's 5 to the power n plus 3. 5 to the power n plus 3 minus 6 into 5 to the power n plus 1 whole upon 9 into 5 to the power n minus 2 to the power 2 5 to the power n. Tell me one thing, from the numerator 5 to the power n plus 1 I can take common, and when I will take common here I will get 5 to the power 2. When I will add these two, multiply, then you will get something minus 6 whole upon, if I am taking 5 to the power n common, 5 to the power n common, inside the bracket 9 minus 2 square will be 4 or 1. Or you may write once it is 2 square, no problem is there. So 5 to the power n plus 1 upon 5 to the power n. Here I am having 25 minus 6. Here I am having 9 minus 4. So side by side I can write it's 5 to the power n plus 1 into 25 minus 6 is 90, and this is 5 to the power n. 9 minus 4 is again 5. So 5 to the power n plus 1 into 90. And this one can be written as 5 to the power n plus 1. So these two can be cancelled. Our result will be 90. Is it so difficult? I don't think it is very difficult topic for you people. Now some more questions I want to do, and when we are having so many brackets together, what we have to do, we will follow the sequence. First we will try to simplify the small bracket, then curly bracket, and then square bracket. This sequence we have to follow, and definitely our questions will be easy. And you must have remember in class 6 or 7, I think in 5th also, you must have learned about the BODMAS, that bracket, yeah, of multiplication, yes, addition, subtraction, yes, all these things you are knowing. So what I am thinking, if somewhere you are getting such type of question, you have to apply it. But I think before that we are having some more question to do. I am going to do one more question, that is question number 14. And why I am doing, because it is little bit sorts. One word is there, sorts. Why it is called sorts? You must have discussed about the square root, cube root, fourth root, fifth root. So square root means what? If I am having a into a inside a root, so the value will be a only. Means square root we have written like that, you must have remember. A, nothing is there, means 2. Cube root means 3. Fourth root means 5. Fifth root means 5. So same way, if many are there, it can be called the sorts. So we are having a question number 14, and it is a little bit related to the sorts, and I would like to do one thing. But before that, one more thing I want to tell you, which will be a little bit useful in such type of question. And this is an important point for you, you should keep in your mind. Suppose that I am having somewhere, it's a, it means a to the power 1 upon 2. If I am having like that, it means a to the power 1 upon 3. if I am having somewhere it's a 4, it means a to the power 1 upon 4. If I am having like that n, it means a to the power 1 upon n. And one more thing I want to tell you, what has not given in your book, but if suppose that I am having here a number and it is n. So by the same number, suppose that its power is n. So by same number we can multiply at both places by p by p. Result will not change. Result will be the same if I will do like that. So why I discuss this thing? Because in question number 14 I am going to use it. So let's start question number 14. The first part you can see, and maybe it will be helpful for you, and definitely it is helpful for you, because different type of questions we are having where we have to do all these things. Easy things are there. Question number 14 you can see, first part only I am doing. It's written 2 to the power 2 and nothing is there. Nothing is there means that it is square root into 4 and 256 whole upon 364 minus 1 upon 2 to the power minus 2. So let me tell you what I have to do. First of all, I want to tell you this one can be written as 2 to the power 2 whole to the power 1 upon 2. It is can be written as 256 whole to the power 1 upon 4. This one can be written as 64 whole to the power 1 upon 3, and this one can be written as 2 to the power 2. I hope there is no problem. Now I have removed these words and whole question has been converted in the form of indices. And what will happen if it is in the form of indices? Let me tell you one thing. 2 and 2 can cancel. Here I can write 2. Now 256 can be written as I think 4 to the power 4. Yeah, 16 square is 256. So 4 to the power 4 and whole to the power 1 upon 4. And this one also 4 to the power 3 and whole to the power 1 upon 3 minus 4. Now they can eliminate 2 into 4 upon 4 minus 4. They can eliminate 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 2. This will be the result. Yeah. So these are the some easy questions. But when you will move to the question number 18, again I am repeating myself, these questions are not new for you. Such type of question means question number 18, whatever I am going to do. I remember last year we were having such type of question, and we had solved also. Even in our examination also we got such type of question. To simplify it, to do it, many things are there. That's I am going to write one question. Question number 18, second part, and you can see this will be little bit easy for you. Now see question number 18, second part. It's written x to the power a plus b upon x to the power c whole to the power a minus b. Then after it's written x to the power b plus c x to the power a, and that is equal to b minus c. Then x to the power c plus a whole to the power whole upon x to the power b and whole to the power c minus a. There are different way to solve this question. I want to tell you different way. Which different way are there? I can simplify inside the bracket firstly, and then we will use power to the power power. Or first of all I can apply that power to the power and then we can have a product. That's if I am having somewhere a upon b into c upon d. So that numerator will multiply with numerator, denominator will multiply with denominator. So it is up to you what you want. What I am thinking, I can write it's a plus b into a plus b x to the power c into a minus into x to the power b plus c into b minus c whole upon x to the power a and b minus c into x to the power c plus a c minus a and x to the power b into c minus a. Easily we can write. I don't think anything new here. All these things whatever we have learned, I told you, power to the power, then power can be multiplied. I told you if I am having a to the power m and b to the upon b to the power m, it can be written as a upon b to the power m. This one I have taken. Now tell me, x to the power a square minus b square upon x to the power ca minus cb into x to the power, I can write like that, x to the power b square minus c square and x to the power ab minus ac. Here x to the power c square minus a square, x to the power bc minus ab. Okay, I'll simplify in product form, x to the power a square minus b square plus b square minus c square plus c square minus a square, whole upon x to the power ca minus cb plus ab minus ac plus bc minus ab. Tell me one thing, a square can cancel, b square, c square, c square, ca with ca, cb with cb and ab with ab. I am having now x to the power 0 upon x to the power 0, that can be written as 1 or 1 upon 1 firstly, then after 1. So these are the some question and one more period I'll give for this topic. One more question I want to do, but since it is the less time and we are having some time limit, you just try to do till the question number 20. Okay, and what I am thinking, one part of question number 19 I will do in next class, and then after I will move for the remaining. So thank you, and take a screenshot of this one also, and hope you have got all these points and try to do the remaining questions, and then after I'll try my best to complete this topic in the next 1 hour, 1.5 period. So we can start another topic is there, that's logarithm. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.